5 ways private equity bullshits you. Let's talk about it. Private equity has an entire toolbox for making their mediocre performance look like they've just discovered fire. I'm going to show you my top 5 favorites on the shady yet very legal gimmicks done by the PE firms. So I actually witnessed few of them from the inside. I remember back when I was working in a financial division in one of the world's biggest hospitality company, one other company got bought out by an activist investor, and then a quarter later became profitable and proclaimed turnaround. And almost immediately, the articles started appearing. This is what the leadership does. Or LinkedIn posts like, this is the power of vision and how I am humbled to be this genius. And then this very article reposted by some low-level marketing analyst who has been begging for a promotion, but now is afraid that he's going to get optimized by this powerful burst of synergies. Except there was one small problem. I knew what was actually happening inside the company. So what they did was pretty simple. They fired a bunch of people, then they hired consultants who cost 5 times as much and know next to nothing about the actual business. They pushed a bunch of those expenses below the line and called them one-time costs. And then 1 quarter later, they basically announcing, look what we did. We turned the company around. No, you didn't. You fired people, replaced them with vastly more expensive consultants, rearranged the financial statements, and then wrote press release about the power of leadership. And apparently that was enough. Because these highfalutin corporate platitudes are incredibly persuasive to people who have absolutely no fucking idea what is happening underneath the hood. And that experience has taught me something. When somebody tells you they've transformed a business, don't listen to the adjectives. Look at the accounting. Get back to the list. Number 1, adjusted EBITDA. So this is probably the king of private equity bullshit. EBITDA already removes the interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. But apparently that wasn't generous enough. So now we have a new term, adjusted EBITDA. Restructuring costs, yank them. Consultants, remove them. Management fees, who needs them? Integration expenses, remove them. That expensive disaster of a turnaround that we created ourselves, we're gonna call it one-time expense. So after enough adjustments, you can take a business making $12 and a ham sandwich and somehow present it like a fucking Berkshire Hathaway. And the beauty of the phrase one-time expense is that somehow these one-time expenses happen every freaking year. Number 2, capitalize the expense. Here's another beautiful trick. Listen to this. Suppose you spent $10 million today. Normally that's an expense and your profit drops by 10 million. That's unpleasant. But what if we call that spending, you guessed it, an investment? Congratulations. So instead of recognizing the entire cost today, you put it on the balance sheet and then expense it gradually over the next several years. The cash still left the building, but the EBITDA suddenly looks much prettier. Nothing fundamentally changed economically. We just moved the number to a place where fewer people will ever look. It's financial interior decorating. Number 3, pull revenue forward. And next nice little trick. If the current quarter looks shitty, find ways to recognize revenue earlier. Sign the contract now, book the revenue now, offer incentives to customers to close before the quarter end, push inventory into the channel, and congratulations. You didn't necessarily create additional demand. You may have simply stolen revenue from the next quarter and used it to make this quarter looks better. Of course, eventually reality catches up. But hopefully by then, you've already refinanced the debt, sold the company, and given yourself an enormous performance bonus for your visionary leadership, of course. And has written a LinkedIn post about how honored you are to be the savior this industry so desperately needed. Number 4, buy growth and pretend you created it. And this one is particularly elegant. Buy a company for, say, 6 times EBITDA, then buy another one, and another one, then bundle them together. Now present the combined business to the market as the larger, diversified, professionally managed platform deserving a valuation of 10 times EBITDA. Suddenly you've supposed created enormous value. Did you invent a revolutionary product? No. Did margins explode? No. Did organic growth suddenly go through the roof? No. You bought a bunch of companies at 6 and convinced somebody else that this pile deserves 10. This is called multiple expansion, which sounds much more sophisticated than we bought this shit cheaper than we hope to sell it. Number 5. Debt does most of the fucking work. And finally, the leverage. This is where private equity really gets mistaken for sorcery. Imagine buying a company for 100 million, but you only pay 30 million for your own money and borrow the other 70. 5 years later, sell the same company for 120 million. So far, so good. The company value increased by 20%, not exactly discovering electricity. But if the business paid down a chunk of the debt along the way, your original 30 million investment might have doubled or tripled. And suddenly the presentation says spectacular investor returns. And technically it's true, but people hear spectacular investor returns and assume spectacular operating performance. Those are not the same thing. A huge portion of this return may simply come from leverage. And here's the best part. The company itself usually carries the debt used to buy the company. Think about this. Just absorb this. You buy a business and then have this very business help you pay down for its own acquisition. Try that while buying a house. Hello, seller, I'd like to buy a house. Also, the house will be responsible for paying most of the mortgage. Private equity doesn't always need to cook the books. Sometimes they just need to cook the presentation. So whenever somebody starts talking about operational transformation, synergies, value creation, and world-class leadership, or quoting snake oil similar to From Good to Great by Jim Collins and other crap, ask yourself a very simple question. How much more cash is this business actually generating? Because eventually the adjusted EBITDA, the add-backs, the multiple expansion, and the PowerPoint presentations meet reality. And the bank, unfortunately, still wants the real stuff. If you like this explainer, click like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.